Ace Will's a genius.
It's your boy Next Level Ace back with another video. In today's video, we're going to listen to a few different individuals talk about how they accumulated all of their debt. And this video is for informational purposes, educational purposes. Hopefully you learn from others' choices so you don't make the same choices. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into it, man.
This is how I got into $40,000 of debt with nothing to show for it. It starts out with me and my cousin going to college. We were low-key social media influencers back then. We thought we was finna make this shit out. But I ain't gonna lie, bro. We were going to a private school that charged 15 to 20K per semester. So we ended up paying that bitch and failed, like bad. Like I had a 0.7 GPA. After I came back home,
15,000 per semester. All right, well, 30,000 a year. Okay, you gotta go 4 years. Okay, 120. Right? Am I tripping? No, wait, 120. That's just 2 years. Because if 1 year is 60, 2 years is 120. 4 years, 24. I mean, yeah, 240. Nah, they did say a private school. First red flag, private school. Man, if your folks ain't having it like that and you not getting scholarships, oh no, private school is out of the question. Cause they 15,000 a semester. All right.
it gave me 6 months to prove myself, and I obviously couldn't do that. So then I had to go back to school for another year, community college, 5 to 7K down the drain again. And once again, I failed. And I told my parents, yeah, I'm done. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not doing this shit no more. This is when I actually started to grind for real because I really had nothing left. So then I got a job. I was only literally working and then trying to work on my business, which was Amazon at the time. So now I'm doing Amazon with my cousin for like a year and a half. We started making bread for real. I ain't gonna lie. We started touching dough. We decided to move out to a penthouse that's $5,000 a month. I'm not sure how we even got accepted to this shit because we were.
Yo, moving out first crib, 5,000. Bro, I already at Amazon. Y'all was getting some money, not penthouse money. I'll tell you that much. Y'all ain't touching penthouse money. Y'all is not touching penthouse money, man. Nobody working at Amazon should be living in a penthouse nowhere.
Yeah, money like that at the time. Like we wasn't touching money for that long for us to have a good credit report and shit like that. Once we somehow got accepted, we got in that bitch, which is what I'm in right now. I just started splurging on some random shit. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I was low-key swiping my credit card and shit like that. So now we already at like, what, 20 something? So now like with this shit, I'm gonna just keep it a buck, bro. I couldn't afford it. After 3-4 months, I couldn't afford it. Then I started doing Uber Eats every single day. I couldn't even afford it.
At least he's still in it, which means that they finding a way to pay. They finding a way to pay for it. Like you say, doing Uber Eats. He figuring it out. They finding a way. They finding a way to pay. He say they still in the penthouse, which means that you paying that rent, but $5,000. Yeah, right. No way.
Out the whole month, even if I put all my bread in that motherfucker. So I started getting on credit. My credit score was at 730 or 740 something. Then it dropped all the way down to damn near, I think we're at like 400 something, bro. If y'all don't know, I'm a risk taker. And now it's been a whole entire year, bro. I put all my shit in my credit card and shit like that. I've been just swiping my credit card and shit like I maxed my shit out. I ain't gonna lie, nigga, I'm at 40,000, or I might even have more owed, but like I'm at 40-something thousand owed, bro. And my business failed because my Amazon business got shut down. So yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that's the reason why I couldn't make too much bread for real. But yeah, that's my story, how I got $40,000 in debt, bro.
Wait, so they had an Amazon business? Like they were selling through Amazon? Or were they working at Amazon? Because I mean, if you was selling products, they probably did start coming up on some money, but you got to do it long enough for it to make sense. You can't make money 1 month and be like, oh, I just made 10,000. I'm finna go live a $10,000 lifestyle. That's not even realistic. Just because you did it this month don't mean you finna do it next month or the month after that. The rule is, I think you're supposed to at least wait 90 days. I would say 6 months though. Like if you consistently make $10,000 for 6 months to a year, then you could kind of be like, okay, this is kind of like my base, because your income is going to fluctuate, especially with a business. So you might make 10, you might make 5. But if you get to the point where 10 becomes like, okay, I've made $10,000 a month for the past 12 months, I could kind of, you know what I'm saying? I damn near could guarantee it. You still can't guarantee it, but I could damn near guarantee it because I did it 12 months in a row. Right? But he said 40K in debt just on the credit cards. He ain't even mention the student loan, bro. You took out student loans, so you in even way more debt. The first school, you said 15,000 per semester. You was there for a year or two. Insane. Then you went to community college between 5 to 7,000. I guess I don't know if that's a year or semester. I'm not sure. He ain't mentioned. But either way, I think he in way more debt than 40. I think 40 is just credit cards. Crazy. Your score went from 730 to 4. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. Like, there was a time when I didn't even think your credit score could go below a 500. I thought 500 was the bottom until I got older. Like, cause like when I first started my credit, you know, when I first started paying attention, you know, when I first started building my credit, like out of high school, I was like, I think I had like I had like 580 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I thought like, okay, this must be like the lower end of credit, like, you know, 500 and, you know, obviously 850. And that's like the pinnacle. I used to think that until I started meeting people like, bro, I got like a 300 credit score, 400. I'm like, I didn't even know credit could go that low. Blew my mind.
Y'all, I am currently on my way to a job interview for an overnight position at McDonald's. And when I tell you, this has been a very humbling experience. If you're new here, my name is Rain, and I am in the process of going through a debt payoff journey to pay down over $45,000 of debt. Now, I have not officially told my debt story, which I'm going to be making a video about that pretty soon, but here's the gist. I am looking to do an overnight job just to kind of help expedite my payoff process. I'm also going to be working full-time with American Express starting September 8th. So if I can manage to survive on 3 to 4 hours of sleep while working 2 full-time jobs, or at least a full-time and a part-time, then I feel like that's going to really help to push me through paying off this debt way sooner than I planned, which was June 30th, 2028, which is my 35th birthday. It's humbling because I told myself I was never going to work at McDonald's. And I don't know why there was this shame associated with working at McDonald's or what, but I'm glad that I'm over that shame because your girl is desperate and I need the funds. I work with Uber and Lyft when I can, but I just needed something more consistent, and McDonald's is always hiring right up the street from my house too. So wish me luck. I'm about to go to my job interview.
Interesting. What they say though, they say you can't afford to be broke and is it embarrassed? Or basically you can't afford to be broke and like prideful, or I can't remember the exact way they say it. I can't remember. But so her just putting her ego to the side, like, bro, I need this money. And another thing is like, sometimes you gotta do things that you don't want to do to get where you're trying to go. So does she really want to work 2 jobs? Probably not. But she understand that I got this goal that I'm trying to hit, and in order to get there, I'm gonna have to do some things that I'm probably uncomfortable doing. But I'd rather her do this, go get a second job, than some of these women. Now, I'm not judging, but some of these women out here selling their body, and don't go that route, please, man. Keep your morals and principles intact. You ain't gotta sell yourself literally, and they try to justify it with, well, working a job is technically selling your body. Like, chill out. Not the same. We not doing that. We not finna justify you literally selling it. You know what I mean? Versus me punching a clock and exchanging my time for some cash. You literally exchanging ass for cash. Let's not talk about that.
I am 27 years old and I have over $500,000
500. Let's talk about how she got there.
in debt. And that feels absolutely crazy to say out loud, but I'm okay with it because this is the year that I'm going to start tackling it. I owe $33,000 on my car, and then I owe $512,000 on my house. When I had mentioned in a previous video that I wanted to pay off my mortgage in 5 years, people were commenting and telling me that I shouldn't pay off.
I mean, where? I didn't mean to do
I
that.
am 27 years
I hate when he does that.
And I have over $500,000 in debt. And that feels absolutely crazy to say out loud, but I'm okay with it because this is the year that I'm going to start tackling it. I owe $33,000 on my car, and then I owe $512,000 on my house. When I had mentioned in a previous video that I wanted to pay off my mortgage in 5 years, people were commenting and telling me that I shouldn't pay off my mortgage, and let me explain to you why I'm going to do it anyways. Right now, my mortgage has an interest rate of 6.25%, which is absolutely insane because most of my friends have like high 2s, low 3 interest rates, which in that sense would have made it really smart not to pay off your mortgage because you'd be able to get a bigger return putting your money elsewhere. However, for me, with my mortgage having over $500,000 still on the loan and having such a high interest rate, I think my biggest priority is going to be leveraging my $300K base salary, all of my quarterly bonuses, and all of the money I make from social media towards paying that off in the next 5 years. My mortgage payment every single month is $4,200, and of that $4,200, only $503 go to the actual principal of the loan, which is just like,
look at those numbers. 2,600 in interest monthly. Taxes and insurance, another $1,000. $500 out of my 4,200 is principal. Nah, I would say this though. At least her debt, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I feel a little different about it because her $500,000 is her home, right? It's her house. It's a piece of real estate. Hopefully it will increase in value over time. But I do understand like that 2,600 in interest every month, crazy. I owe $500,000 on my house, and every month you taking $500 towards my principal. Disrespectful. That is disrespectful. What? Man, that is crazy. Good thing is she got a $500,000 house. She said she made $300,000 with her job, not including her social media income, So obviously she can afford it, right? But just because you afford it don't mean you want the debt. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I don't care how much money I make between now and whenever. My goal is always gonna be to remain debt-free or as close to debt-free as possible because I understand my power is in my cash flow. You know what I'm saying? Your power is in your cash flow. Your power is not in what you spending, it's in what you saving, what you keeping, what you investing. So the fact that she, based on what she said, she can obviously afford what she got, but you got $2,600 that you paying in interest every month. That 26 can be going somewhere else. So I feel that if I was her, I would be locked in too. Like, bro, I gotta get this knocked off.
it makes me so sick to look at. Like I quite literally, I can't even look at it. So I went on to my site where I can manage my loan and I was looking at all of the data, and in order to pay off the loan in the next 5 years, I'm gonna have to pay close to $5,000 additional every single month, which right now that's just not something that I can allocate into my monthly budget. I can't allocate an additional 5K without drastically changing my life, which is something that I'm like also not super interested in doing. I want to pay this debt off while also comfortably living my life. My goal is to allocate $3,000 every single month of my income towards paying off the loan, and I'll be able to pay more on certain months when I get my quarterly bonuses or any money that comes in from social media. And hopefully, even if I just pay the $3,000 extra every single month, my loan will be done by 2032, which is really close to 2030, which is my goal of 5 years. But I'm hoping that with all of my quarterly bonuses and just the extra income that I'll be able to get it done a lot sooner. So this is part one of me documenting my whole journey of paying off my $500,000 plus mortgage. I will be documenting every single time that I pay my mortgage, every single time that I make extra payments, and just how this process is going. And then in my next video, I'm also going to break down how I'm going to pay off my car loan early as well, but that's just a separate whole conversation. All right, I think that's pretty much it for this video. I'll see you in my next video.
Man, shout out to her, man. Shout out to her, man. She got it though. She gonna get it done. But I'm telling you, bro, interest is eating us up, bro. Interest is eating us alive, bro. Interest, man. I looked at an interest rate on a loan I got that I'm paying off, and I'm like, yo, interest like this should be illegal, but it was something I did in a moment of need. You know, they prey on you when you in times of need. But like I say, my debt compared to a lot of these people debt is, you know what I'm saying, a lot of these people could pay my debt off in a month. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying, like she paying $4,200 in rent, and she talking about she gonna add another extra $3,000 every month. So she finna be paying $7,200 on her, you know what I'm saying, on her mortgage every month. Yeah, give me that. I be debt free tomorrow. My debt really not that much, man. I might have, like, maybe I should do a debt journey video. I don't know, man. Comment if you would like to see it. I don't think mine that interesting, bro, because I got probably less than 10,000 left, and I'll have it paid off by summertime. You know what I'm saying? But this is crazy. Oh, hold up. I ain't even turned the volume on. My bad, y'all.
So this is how I paid off over $90,000 in 3 years before I turned 30. I'm recording this video again because somehow yesterday when I recorded it the first time, it cut out, the sound cut out. I don't even know how it happened, but here we go. I told you I was gonna record it again. So what happened was 2016.
2016.
Grad school. I realized how much debt I was in. I read a book end of 2016, beginning of 2017, and it had me calculate my net worth for the first time, and my net worth was negative, okay, real negative. And there was a wake-up call for me. I decided then to ask myself the question, like, what if I was able to pay off all of my debts? What would life look like? How would I feel? And I liked what I thought about, how I thought I would feel. You know, having the debt be gone. So I realized I had two problems. First problem being I wasn't making enough money. I only made $17,800 in 2016 with a master's degree. And then the other issue, number two, was that I wasn't managing my money, you know, appropriately or well. So I wasn't making...
Bro, that is literally, I would say, probably the two leading issues. Is like, one, I don't make enough money. Two, the money I do make, I am not managing it well. A lot of people don't even take time to dive into their finances to see where their money is actually going. Trust me, my life changed in the past 6 months once I was like, you know what? Let me sit here and really like write down my finances and where is my money going? How much money should I have left over at the end of the month? When I seen them numbers, I'm like, bro, I'm overspending. Like, I am literally overspending myself into stress and in depression. Like, once I seen the numbers, I was like, oh, it's my fault. Like, the way that I'm living right now, this paycheck to paycheck, it's my fault. And I started making changes and things have gotten better. I still tend to stress though, because I just can't, I don't know, it's like I can't help it, bro. It's like I want to be where I want to be, and I see the finish line. I'm working to get there, but it's like it takes time though. But I be stressing knowing I know it takes time, and I still be, I don't know, I can't explain it, man. Y'all know what I mean though.
Wasn't managing my money appropriately. March 2017, I started managing my money, looking at what I was spending, being mindful and conscious about, you know, what was coming in and what was going out. I spent the rest of the year applying for jobs that would increase my income. It wasn't until about September or October that I got another job, and I was working about 7 days a week, but only for a season, in order to be able to start paying down heavy payments on my student loans. And here's the thing that differentiates like those who are quote unquote successful from those who aren't. A lot of people can start making more money, but then they don't actually implement their plan. So they start living above their means, you know, buying things that they don't need, so on and so forth. Anywho, I really cut down expenses, moved in with my best friend, sold pretty much everything in sight in my apartment before I moved, and I was really focused. Now, every single month I wasn't necessarily able to even put money toward the debt, because there was times where I actually was not working and the cash flow looked a little bit different for some other reasons. Stay tuned for a part 2 for that story. But in 3 years, I paid off over $90,000 of student loans and credit cards. It was probably about $60,000 or so of student loans. And now I literally get to do what I want with my life. I was able to start my business not in desperation. I became a mom, closed my private practice. I literally get to live the life that I want because of the choices I made in 2017. Now in 2023, I'm living my best borderline bougie life. So everyone has a different path, but that's my story in a nutshell in a couple of minutes. Let me know if you have.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love the fact that she acknowledged this the next video, y'all. But I love the fact that she acknowledged like the decisions I made years ago I'm living in it now. So that's what I need y'all to understand. The decisions we make today, we're gonna live in it 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. So I understand that, okay, I need to pay my debt off. I need to be very strategic with my money and where it goes, and you know what I'm saying? In order to live the life I want to live, do I want to work for somebody for the rest of my life? Absolutely not. I would love to invest, start businesses. I want to be able to take my kids to school in the morning, pick them up. I want to be able to go to the gym in the mornings, work out, you know, maybe come to the crib, make breakfast, and come in here, you know what I'm saying, wherever I'm living at that time, you know what I'm saying? It probably won't be here anymore, but come in, you know, my little creative space, create content, record music, because if you don't, I love music, man, you know what I'm saying? Make beats, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to live that life and not have to go punch a clock. And that all comes with getting out of debt, making smart investments, and just being smart with my money. You know, you can't just be loose with your dollars. If you got goals, you got to be on top of your money, because, you know, money isn't everything. But in the world we live in, not having money will have you stressed out, depressed, and questioning God, right? Let's be honest. Not having money will have you questioning God. But it all starts with you, man. You got to make the decision to be better. And yeah, that's just how I feel about it. I love that she was like, the decisions I made in 2017 is what I'm living in now. And I love that because it gives me something to look forward to. It's like the sacrifices I'm making now, I will get to live in them later on, and I look forward to it.
Okay, so I think I'm finally ready to tell you guys how I got myself into I'm rounding up, $1,000 worth of debt at the ripe age of 26 years old. So when I was 18 years old, I had the bright idea of going to an out-of-state college. Mind you, my upbringing was very toxic. I grew up in an Asian household where financial literacy was not taught, and, you know, I grew up very poor. That being said, my parents did provide what they could, but at the end of the day, it was a very toxic household, and all I knew is I wanted to get as far away as possible I could from this house, and I wanted to get a college degree so I could make big money. So I wanted to become a social worker, essentially, at the end of the day, and that didn't pan out for me. When I went to college, I am a first-generation college student.
Hey, are y'all realizing the common debt cause? All right, student loans, the vehicle, credit cards. Those three killing us. Them student loans is, oh my, student loans is eating people alive. No joke. Them cars, and then we get all this stuff, and then we start swiping the credit card. On top of all this debt we already are signed up for, we start swiping the credit card. Then you look up a year, 2 years later, like, how much debt I got? Oh, we should never allow ourselves to get here. But we live and we learn, you know what I mean? It's like, sometimes you gotta go through what you go through in order to become who you are meant to become, because you won't be who you're supposed to be without those trials and tribulations. That's how I see it, right? But tough, bro.
I didn't understand going out of state. I didn't understand student loan interest. I didn't understand how to apply for scholarships. I didn't understand financing. I did not understand any of that. And so I take full accountability of not doing it myself and, you know, doing more research at the end of the day. But when I had graduated, I realized that there was no way that I could go into even more debt getting my master's. So I have a bachelor's degree, and I ended up at the age of 22 not continuing school to get my master's because of how much debt I was in. So about $26,000 worth of that debt is from federal, and then $46,000 is from private student loans. And my mom's credit was so bad at the time that I wasn't able to even apply for a Parents Plus loan, so I had to pull out private loans and essentially do that. Now, I do have $5,000 in credit card debt. That comes from a different situation where I was in an 8-year relationship with a boy who always told me he was going to take care of me. I thought that was going to
A boy. Intentional. A boy. Not a man. A boy. She was in a relationship with a boy. Make sure y'all differentiate boys from men. You know what I'm saying? She was in a relationship with a boy.
take it out essentially at the end of the day to pay down these loans, but it was excuse after excuse and not getting his career together. And so I essentially was taking care of two people under one household. And so I did accrue credit card debt, and I had broken up with him over a year ago and still trying to recover from all the financial stuff that came with it. And at the end of the day, it is my life. I take full accountability for what's happened to me so far and where I am now. It's just hard to be by yourself and look at debt because it can be so lonely, and that's mainly why I made that video. I really appreciate the people that have been leaving really nice comments. I would love if people left more like debt advice or what stuff that they've done, or even just kind words, because people have left some mean comments in the last one. Lastly, the last thing I want to address is my nails and my hair. So I actually invested in my own hair, doing it myself when I was 18 years old and learning how to do it on YouTube. So these products that I've bought have been from way back when. My mom does nails, so I get my nails done for free. Anything that you guys see on me has been gifted to me. And essentially those are my only two debts: student loans and that $5,000 of credit card debt. I plan to make more videos about my debt payoff journey. I've already started paying stuff down, but I would love some of your guys' advice. So thank you for listening. Okay, so I think
Interesting. Student loans is crazy. Student loans is crazy. It's an interesting question. It's kind of sparked from her, right? Could you, or would you date somebody with that much debt, right? Because, all right, when I think about it, right, when you're dating, right, you're dating with the mindset of, I am dating to find a wife. So if you're dating someone and you find out, oh damn, they're like $80,000 in debt, do you sign up for that? Because their debt is gonna affect you, whether you want it to or not. If y'all gonna be together, that $80,000 of debt is gonna affect you. Because, you know, let's talk about all these conversations we have these days, like 50-50 and all that, right? Somebody with $80,000 worth of debt, unless they're just making tons of cash, they can't afford to go 50-50 with a man. Now, all men aren't expecting women to go 50-50. So, like I said, it all is very situational, and it just depends on who you are. But it's like, me being the type of person I am, I know if I'm gonna be with somebody and they have that much debt, I'm gonna wanna help them. And that's a lot to take on. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot to take on. It's like me just being who I am, the type of guy I am. I'm gonna wanna help. 80,000? Crazy. Tough. Them student loans, bro. But I'm gonna give you this, I guess, this analogy. And I'm gonna end this video right here. Right. So paying off debt is like going hiking. You get there, you make the decision that, okay, I'm gonna climb this mountain today. And you get there and you look up and you like, bro, I gotta go all the way up there. You say, all right, I'm here, might as well get to it. And then you just start climbing. You don't get there fast. You gotta take it step by step, day by day. We're talking about hiking, it's an analogy, so hopefully it don't take you days to get to the top. But you get what I'm saying? Like, step by step is the day by day. Every step hiking is a day on your debt-free journey. And it's like, eventually you take enough steps to reach the top, as long as you kept pushing towards that goal. You know what I mean? Eventually you reach the top. Eventually the debt is gonna be gone. It may take you years, it may take you months. It just depends on who you are, what kind of money you make, and how disciplined you are. You know, some people might start going up the mountain and change their mind, start going back down, and then get to the bottom and realize, damn, I really do need to do this, and start going back up again. It's just, hey, it's on you. It's on you. But it's like, I just look at it like, what else are you gonna do? Because having debt doesn't make your life better. So it's like, at some point you gotta be like, I gotta get rid of it, or at least pay it down to a manageable point. You know, like, what is it supposed to always, your debt to income, you know, your debt to income ratio, your debt, you know, your debt utilization should always be under 30, ideally under 10%. You know, that's what, like, credit cards and stuff. So yeah, I kind of keep that in mind, man. Like, it's like, I would never go back to the point where I'm like maxing hard out. Like, if I'm maxing it out, I'm literally putting the money right back. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way. But comment down below, let me know what's your debt journey looking like, you know? And let's talk about it in the comment section. Until next time, Ahce gone.